A year and a half ago, I took my 1978 GMC Motorhome on its maiden voyage, but it wasn't as a motorhome. I used it as a moving van. I packed it full of all my stuff, 14,500 pounds worth, even though the coach is only rated at 12,000 GVWR, and it was a great shakedown voyage, revealing two major issues. First and foremost, the fuel delivery. The gas tanks are absolutely terrible. I'll put a link in the description. You can see what I had to go through because the gas tanks weren't doing their job. I mean, they hold the fuel, but they sure don't get it into the engine very well. And the other problem was the shaking. It shook like a washing machine that's kind of out of balance. And it could not have been the wheel weights because I had it balanced 3 times and it still shook the wheel weights off. So there's a couple of things that could be causing that out of balanceness, and I really want to solve that as well. So this video is all about the driving that I've been doing all over the country here to get solutions to solve those two problems. So let's jump right into it, picking up in the Orlando airport. Right, so I'm walking to catch the hotel shuttle here at the Orlando airport. The plane just landed, it's almost midnight, and this was a totally unexpected trip. I'll tell you guys more about it when we get to the hotel. If you've been following my build of the GMC Motorhome, you've heard me mention Jim Bounds, and if you got your interest piqued at all on GMC Motorhomes, you probably found him yourself and reached out and asked some questions. He's, at this time, kind of the most available guru for the GMC Motorhome coaches, and he runs a business called GMC Motorhome Co-op here in Orlando, Florida, and unfortunately, it just went out of business. They liquidated everything that was there. They had like an auction. That was yesterday for me, and I actually wasn't going to bid on anything. Most of the stuff that I want to do to my coach, I want to DIY it. But there are some things that would be nice to have. And at the last minute, there were some coaches that were unsold. And so I purchased one of them. This is mine for the moment. I'm not going to be taking this home. You can see a tree fell on it during a hurricane here in Florida. And it's currently jacked up with the forklift at the front here. We got jack stands underneath it at all 4 corners because these are my new Alcoa wheels. Got the knockoff Alcoas. Those are lug-centric wheels, and we all saw the video that I made about hub-centric versus lug-centric. So these are genuine Alcoas. You can see the faded logo there. And these are the ones I got to ship back to myself on the pallet, but I don't want to ship the tires. So I got to take these to the tire store down the road and yeah, just get the rims, strap them onto this pallet to ship back. This headlight bucket cover, valence, whatever we call this thing, is interesting. Look, it receives a square headlight instead of the circular ones like you typically see. So this is definitely an aftermarket thing, and it kind of looks nice. I like the lines of it. It flows very smoothly, kind of like the original creases on the motorhome. This is the big old warehouse space where they used to do all the work indoors, working on these GMC coaches, and you can see pallets of stuff that people are going to come pick up, I guess. And that used to be the upholstery room. There's a welding room over there. So it was a great thing. It was a great space that Jim got going on here, and unfortunately it didn't work out financially. So this is the boneyard. All of the coaches out here are very rough. There's one back there, you can see it's got like a visor looking thing over the windshield, and that one is apparently in quite good shape mechanically, but it's disgusting. Horrible on the inside. It's just got to be like biohazard suits taken apart. But yeah, and then the outside needs a horrible paint job. It has to be stripped and repainted. So lots of work if anybody wanted to save these. Most of them are probably destined for the scrap heap. They're probably going to get recycled. Well, with the high price of aluminum these days, whoever recycles them will earn some money, but it's the end of a dream down here at the co-op for sure. Jim's attraction to the rare and the wonderful versions of these GMC motorhomes means that he's got quite the collection of interesting, I should say DIY projects back here. This one here, I think they call it the Purple People Eater, has this hatch, and they've taken the window out because it wasn't done in the best way, but it just hinges up. You can see the gas struts here in the corners, and all this aluminum welding. The welds aren't the greatest, and we're getting cracks up there in the corners apparently, so it needs to be rebuilt. And I don't know if they sold this, and you can hear it crunching as I close it, but the idea was to use that as a car hauler. They were going to put like a little Mini Cooper or something like that in there and go to car shows. This one here, with all the moss growing on it, it's been extended. Can you guys tell? There's 4 extra feet added to the end of the coach, so pretty interesting. More space inside. This one here has the fiberglass bumpers, which are kind of expensive. It's got cameras in a number of places. An interesting thing going on up top, searchlight, something like that. And it had the unobtainium windows, the flush mount, really nice windows. And the final rig to talk about is the real deal. This is an actual U.S. Air Force. That's not just somebody putting stickers on it. It was an actual commercial vehicle, U.S. Air Force mobile antenna. So the real EM50 here, like from the movie Stripes. I don't think Bill Murray drove this one, but it's the real deal. Oh, that door will not open from the outside. But I can climb up the ladder, which is custom made, and look at all these diamond plate walkways, and this is all custom up here. So now I can open the door for everyone, and look, custom coach work by Wolf Coach, Northborough, Massachusetts. That is a long defunct motorhome manufacturer, I'm sure. Pretty grody in here. Lots of years of, you know, no skylight, rain, Florida rain, monsoons, all that coming in here. Pretty gross, but there's a history to this place. Pretty cool. There's an old scope from the 70s. We have some racks for, I don't know, some sort of ham radio equipment, because this was a mobile antenna. Up at the top here, we have this track for running cabling, lots of wiring. We have, you guys can maybe see it there in the dark, some strip for plugs. You got 110 volt plugs. And back here, behind this panel, is the coolest thing of all. We've got these old, look at these. You'll never see this again. Old school technology from a time long ago. Funky old heater, huh? I wonder what went into all of these recessed cubbies. Probably a fold down table or maybe a bunk that went there. Interesting. Just a few brackets left. Yeah, these are all the nice coaches. The ones that don't have, you know, intractable problems. I think they all run and drive, and they're all decent. They're all going to good homes. And a lot of them, I think all the good stuff, really all the valuable stuff from the co-op got dispersed through the network of GMC Motorhome enthusiasts. So it's just a bummer that we don't have this resource anymore. Everybody knows Jim Bounds. Look at the myth, the man, the legend.
This thing, I built this for the Secretary of Agriculture at the time for the state of Florida.
Okay. So we got vinyl here?
Oh yeah, I had a vinyl package, graphics package made.
Upgraded airbags.
Oh yeah, you got a quad bag.
What year was this?
It's a 77.
No. What year did he rebuild it?
Probably I did it 15 years ago. Yeah, the whole idea with this is Mr. Clean. You know, low profile furnace. It's got the toll booth windows.
Oh, look at those! I didn't even notice that.
Like this. About 4 years I was producing these.
Huh.
Yeah, top to bottom gives you a 9-inch opening.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
I want that.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping second quarter of this year that we're gonna make new ones.
Okay. So back in the 90s, like when all those engineers were first retiring, the ones that really wanted them from the 70s, there was like a big push for lots of aftermarket stuff, right?
Yeah. Well, for a little while.
For a little while.
Well, up until, I would tell you, up until about 4 years ago, this was a grassroots Monpa.
All of it.
It was.
Huh.
I mean, you know, from Caspro that made some cool shocks and some other things. It was a guy and his wife.
Okay.
You know.
So how many people on this team?
On this?
On the window team, yeah. Like a mom and pop shop thing too?
No. It was a big company.
Oh.
But what happened was
they are already doing glass, and so then
they stopped doing automotive glass.
Oh, okay.
They do an industrial glazing.
Right.
This was such a small part.
Yeah, they didn't care.
You know, it wasn't a profit center for them. They, you know, the bean counters looked at it as we were talking, and they said, "Nah, we don't need that.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's a cheap hamburger." Anyway, you got the Ramco mirrors. These are the small ones. These are the 2102s.
Yeah.
Motorhome started getting bigger, so they made bigger mirrors.
Right. Yeah.
That was a small mirror.
Yeah.
That was a small mirror. Got, these are Lumina.
Chevy Lumina van.
Yeah,
Yep.
Lumina van. It's got a nice curve to it.
Yep, I like it.
Comes right to the edge.
Yeah,
right
it's
there. Boy,
perfect.
it's beautiful, you know.
Got the LED headlights.
LED headlights, bumper fills. You know,
This is a nice one.
Just a nice, clean, Mr. Clean. is what
Mr.
it was,
Clean.
You know. Here, come on in. It's got this console.
Oh, look at that. Where'd that come from? Did you make that custom?
There's a company in California. Small company. Most of the stuff went to Europe.
Okay.
And but I could vend them my material, and I could tell them the sizes and things, and they would make them. Boo, yeah. They got too big.
Oh, didn't want to do it anymore.
Well, yeah. Again, I'm a small fish,
Yeah.
and the big fish just can't
There
make
it
me.
goes. Look at this. I love this little handle.
Yeah,
accessory.
Ragusa. That's a Ragusa.
Oh, they make that too. Okay. Of
Oh,
course.
yes, beautiful handle.
All kinds of
Gives
stuff.
you a little bit of extra push.
Yep. And you can pull with it, so you don't have to have another strap. Oh, I love
Don't
it.
have to. Strap fell off on that. This thing was cool because we made this sofa. So the scissor sofa comes out. Then this folds in and makes a big bed.
Oh, giant bed up here.
The grandkids will run out and say, "Granddaddy, Granddaddy, make the big bed, make the big bed." You know, because he had a hard drive, you know,
Yep.
in the flat screen. So he'd make this a bed, and all the kids would stay in here. The adults would go inside.
Right. They
So
watch
this
the
was
TV.
this was their nursery.
Yep. That's really
And
fun.
he never went camping.
Oh, wow. He just took
It
it,
just
just
was
took
a
it to visit the
travel machine
grandkids.
to
Yeah.
see the grandkids.
There were audio problems with this interview. This is Jason Stryker's trans mode that he's turning into a mobile scuba diving studio. He's got Kusa board, waterproof flooring, $500 a 4x8 sheet. Really nice stuff. And it's just going to be a fantastic rig when he gets it finished. This is Rob's coach. You might have seen him on video, and it's a really nice one. Some of the standout features, obviously, we got the fiberglass fender extension things going on. This is an interesting side molding, and he got this great custom paint job. He bought it in Las Vegas in 2018, I guess. And yeah, it's just really solid. He's been living in it. He moved right in, and here's the man himself.
Hey everybody.
So yeah, you were saying just a minute ago that you bought it in Vegas?
I bought it in 2018 for $10,000 in Vegas. It had been sitting for about 10 years.
Could you move right into it on the day you bought it?
No, I didn't move into it because by the time I got it from California to Vegas, from Vegas to California, I only had second gear. So I had to put in a manual transmission. But that's okay. I had the money for that. And then after that, yeah, then I moved in and started getting it livable.
Got it. And you've been living in it ever since?
Yeah, but this is my second coach. I had 5 years in a 73 before.
Oh, wow.
So I'm up
I didn't
to
know
10
that.
years. Well, I'm
Crazy.
on my 10th year of full-time.
Wow. So GMC Co-op is no more pretty soon. What are the future?
Well, yeah, this chapter is ending. I'm going to continue. It's just, basically we're just turning a page here.
Yeah.
That's all there is.
So you're
It's sad to see it go, but things change.
Yeah. So I've been so busy just doing all the things around here that I really haven't had much of a chance to film, and so I didn't get to tell you guys the whole story of this, just a little bit. But yeah, this is my coach for another 10 minutes or so. I'll be passing the title on to somebody else. Hopefully it doesn't go to the scrapyard. I think somebody will save it. There is the pallet with the wheels on it in the back of my SUV. There's the semi truck that just dropped it off. So mission complete, great success. Here are my genuine Alcoa rims off the pallet, ready to get rubber installed on them and put on the motorhome here. So you can see I've got the old steel wheels removed, and look at this, you guys. I gotta do something about this garage because that is condensation and it's rusting everything. You look at that, right there where the brake pad would go, there's no condensation back behind there. Kind of funny. Even here on the grinding mark where I ground into my brake caliper, it's got rust. So yeah, condensation everywhere. Every piece of metal, just this thing's gonna rust to death from condensation here in this garage. In addition to the Alcoa rims, I was able to fit many other things onto that pallet, starting with these covers for the headlights. They kind of, I don't know what to call these, sconces or just whatever they are, but yeah, these are just about in the same condition as the ones that I currently have. You can see all the ones that I was looking at down there at the co-op had this same problem where that screw on the inside there is broken out. Even on this side, you can see the same deal. So they're all kind of old brittle plastic, but hey, having spares is nice, and I might be able to use these sacrificially to make a mold or something like that. So it was just a good thing to pick up. They were there. They were going to the junkyard, or the trash heap, I should say. So yeah. Anyway, I also got a Mac Dash. I'm just going to use the fiberglass shell of this because I'm going to be reupholstering it in a different fabric to match the dashboard that I'm going to be making. And then there are these 2 boxes full of lots of other goodies. So let's bust into these and see what I got. We've got upholstery fabric. We've got industrial sewing machine thread. We've got window seals, silicone, circuit board cleaner to get the Onan generator running. We got painters, tape, 2 different types for different application, fuel line, wire, and O-ring kit. This is cool. We got a door pull. This is for the main door right there. This is kind of hard to come by. And here we've also got a step, also made by Ragusa, I think. These are cast Ragusa things. And this is a step and a handle that goes on the front of the coach so you can stand there and clean the windshield. Really nice. And in this box is the fantastic sort of integrated washer lug nuts that go with the Alcoa rims. So I'm just going to de-rust those and they will work wonderfully. So yeah, lots of good stuff, but still $850 was what it cost me to ship that pallet here. And that was a total ripoff, but hey, I'm glad I got the unobtainium Alcoa rims. You literally cannot buy those anymore. So at this point, I thought I was done with seeing the GMC Motorhome Co-op in person, but then a number of things cropped up. First and foremost, there were problems with the title for that other motorhome that I'd purchased. The guy who sold it to me signed the title over to me, and so that meant that I needed to get a new title, and I couldn't title it without having the motorhome in person here in the state where I live. And so I needed to get it titled in Florida, but that meant that I needed to be there in person to get the VIN check as well as the new title at the DMV, the paper. So that was the primary reason that I had to go down there. A secondary reason is that Jason Stryker did a production run of his fantastic aluminum fuel tank design. And in case you guys don't know about that, it basically replaces one of the structural cross members on the ladder frame underneath the motorhome with the fuel tank, which has an integrated structure. So it holds 70 gallons instead of the 50 gallons from the 2 tanks that are the stock tanks, and replaces them with a single tank that doesn't have any of the fuel feeding issues that the 2 stock tanks have. So it's a tremendous upgrade, and I had to have it. So that was the second reason to go down there. And the third reason to go down there was the fact that they had some bogies from a 78 that I could maybe use if the bogies on my motorhome were bent or damaged in some way. Remember the shaking issue that we have. So the fourth reason is the fact that there was another GMC motorhome owner who wanted a fuel tank, and he lives just about 5 hours west of me, so I can drop off his tank and pick up my tank, and he agreed to pay for all of the fuel costs, and so that made the trip very much worthwhile. So what you see here is me explaining the rig and the trailer on a very windy day, so I'm not going to use the audio from that moment. But yeah, this is the start of a second trip down to Florida. These guys are making good time in their big old motorhome. They are towing an old school Beetle. How cool is that? We both stopped to the rest up here. We got a classic Volkswagen and a Vespa. Pretty cool toads. This is the smartest bathroom I've ever seen. The boys know what I'm talking about. One guy there, one guy there. This one almost never gets used. There's downtown Nashville. This is the nicest rest stop I've ever seen in my whole life. There's a lake. Look at that. It's just gorgeous. Sunset, man. Let's see what it looks like from up there. I didn't know that such a thing existed, but I would call this a destination rest stop. $2.77 a gallon. Awesome. With that wind earlier today, I was getting 7 miles per gallon. Terrible. But that's beside the point. Have you guys ever been to Bucky's? If you're like me, from the Pacific Northwest, you've never even heard of these things. They are the largest gas station you can imagine. Let me just give you a scale of this thing. Look at that. Look at that. 1 row, 2 rows. I'm here at the very end. And at the one that I went to in Texas, there's a supercharger along that outside edge. That is the largest gas station convenience store that I've ever seen. It's got like heavy beads here in the bottom that make it weighted so it can hold your phone like that. Pretty cool, but I'm not paying $9.98 for it. So all I ended up getting was some freshly roasted, still warm, caramel glazed cashews. And they're every bit as delicious as you think they would be. Look at the size of that rig. He's got a full-size motorhome and an enormous trailer behind it. And he has the goal to pass me. He's doing 70. I'm doing 60, 65. And he's like, nope. See you later, sucker. I didn't get to film at all yesterday. It was kind of a whirlwind day. So I really apologize to you guys. I'm letting you down. I'm not filming the interesting stuff. But basically, the coach that I bought, I had put 3 of one type of rim and 3 of another type of rim on it. And there were 2 other rims on another coach. So they got 5 rims that were the same. I did a switcheroo off of some other things. I woke up early in the morning and did that little swap. And then the buyers that I arranged as I was driving down, I listed it on Craigslist before I left home. And they called me as I was driving down. We got the airbags in the back pumped up with the tires. They're kind of dry rotted. We got them all inflated so that the buyers could get a wheel lift tow truck. I've been sleeping in that brown rig right there. So really nice, actually. I'll give you guys a quick tour, but that's my first experience of a GMC motorhome that doesn't stink on the inside, doesn't make you feel icky, and it's awesome, you guys. It's rekindled my oh, I just can't wait. I really want to get my rig done. Now, of course, I'm deep into my rig and I have just years of work ahead of me, but that is really rekindled it. I'm gonna remember the feeling of waking up and going to sleep in that motorhome and just how great it felt. Let's go look at it. So apparently this is owned. There's a title in Europe. It's being sent to the States. There's just some hang up. Some people they're not getting on the ball fast enough. And so it's just sitting out here waiting for the owner to take care of it. But this one is owned and loved, and they left it open because they have to move it around and they forgot to lock it. So I took advantage of the situation. Didn't really ask anybody for permission, but I've just been sleeping here on the couch, and you can see there's a bed in the back. It's the typical layout. There's the fridge. It smells good. Nice floor. It's just, it's a nice coach. It feels great. It feels great. That's the point. You guys have never gotten that feeling from a GMC motorhome before, and now I did. Now you guys can see the purple people eater out here in the space. It's gotta go. I don't know what the deal is with this one. I heard one of the guys who's involved, peripherally involved with the co-op talking about it. He likes the electronic windshield wiper mechanism. It's got the quad bags in the back, and it's got a nice paint job. You clean the moss off of that and polish it up, and it actually would look pretty nice. I don't know what's going on up there on the roof, but hey, that's a nice roof line. You can just paint the roof white, and this would look just fine. So I think it's all just moss up there, actually. And this is the one with that hatch that opens in the back. I guess they got it. Oh, yeah, there it is. It's the handle. So it'll find a home. It's sitting out here. It's got a good engine in it, and we can hear Rob in the background taking off. He's going to his new job at Serum, about an hour and a half away, working on GMC motorhomes. So this is his last day here. March 2nd, the new tenant has taken control of the building, so it's all locked, and we can't get back there. We can't get in there and use the facilities anymore. Now, that whole building, those 4 bays, are kind of like an open to people who can pay the new tenant, sublease it from him. So Jason's going to be using those. He doesn't have full control over them because this is not his property anymore, but he can still do work on GMCs here. And so, yeah, call him up if you need something done. Well, there's some Florida man stuff about to happen in the dark. Using that big old loader there to drag one of these motorhomes, save it from the junkyard, but it's coming over here and get put on this U-Haul trailer, which is probably not what U-Haul ever intended to happen. But you'll notice that U-Haul trailer is a lot shorter than a GMC motorhome, so this is going to be interesting. If ever there was a not my circus, not my clowns moment. It's not going to work. The center of balance needs to be right in between those two axles on the trailer. And that rim, there's a rim under there that's more or less the center of balance. So the whole thing needs to move forward 5 feet. And that would pretty much put the motorhome hitting the back of the truck. Scrap metal. The fact they're willing to take those old propane tanks.
Co-op's claim to fame. This is the hood holdup. That bolt pattern is exactly to the bolt pattern of our hood.
Nice.
You rivet the piece of aluminum to here, and then you rivet it to the back here, and then you just break it down.
If you've been watching Jim's videos, you will have seen him talking about these quad bags, the prototype that looked like they were mounted on a trailer. And I got the bogies because my bogies might be bent, and so I gave these quad bags off of that to Jim because he's going to put them on his rig. So these were
the prototypes. There was another guy, Bill, I forgot his name now, William maybe. This was half between a 4-bag system. This lifted it up an extra 2 inches.
We got the extension off the bogie right here.
Right.
It'll be on the one side. And that gave mechanical advantage.
This bolted to the back, and then this bolted to the front of the top of the bogie.
Yep.
The original 4-bag, you had to pop it over the front two
flex it over.
pins. I didn't like that. So this was the first. As soon as I put this on, I said, "Well, shit." These bolts, these 2 plates need to be together.
Yep. And
to be 1 stronger and 2 to be able to go lower.
So this was the very last prototype before the current quad bag system that everybody's putting on.
That's great, but I had to make it.
Yeah, you have to make it.
To say, because the reason we did this, the original 4-bag, the airline came out from in here, and you had to work into a little tiny 2-inch area, right? So when I decided, well, let's open this up so I can get my hand in there.
And the only drawback to this thing is the fact that it doesn't drop as low as the other ones drop. But take a look at Jim's rig over here. He's got this these fancy aluminum rims on there that almost nobody else ever puts on there. He's going to do a custom fender flare, and so because of that, he can't drop as far because he's going to get collisions right here. So the fact that he's got quad bags that don't allow it to go down quite so far is perfect for Jim. So that's why he's getting that prototype. You guys remember that rest stop that I was raving about? Just how fantastic it was on my way down to Florida? Well, that's the hill right over there that I was standing on. So this is the other side of the freeway going the other direction. Same rest stop. Both of these are on an island in the middle of the Tennessee River, and I just went down there to the Tennessee Welcome Center, which is on this side of the rest stop, and apparently it's getting torn down. I don't know if they're going to rebuild it. The lady didn't have that much information, but I suspect it's not long for this world, because the solution to pollution is dilution, and we have a bunch of humans putting waste in one spot. That's the opposite of diluting it. You're sort of concentrating human waste in one spot, and it's on an island. We're not anywhere near a town, so we can't tap into the the municipal waste facilities or whatever. So it's going to have to be a septic system, and it says it's a septic. No flushing anything except for toilet paper. So yeah, understandable why they have to stop using this. Apparently it dates back to the 60s, and it's just a holdover until now. It lasted until now. So this is a rebuilt steering pump coming from the GMC Co-op, coming to Ray here, because Ray has that gorgeous little 23-footer over there that has some, blown out valves. Just like me, I had to rebuild that. So making a little stop before I get home to drop off some parts. The JCB coming in handy, dropping the gas tank there on the roof rack, the 3D printed roof rack, I might add, on top of the Lexus LX 470, getting ready for the trip to Kansas City tomorrow.
Okay, go.
I'm good. Can you slide it back off me? How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm great. Let's go to the bottom.
You can just drop it straight down to the ground then. All right, this is Ray and his 78 Eleganza, and we're gonna get a tour. You guys can see all this amazing, look at how gorgeous this is. This is just so pretty. He's got the electronic steering wheel actuator, or sorry, steering wheel, the windshield wiper actuator. He's got this gorgeous new air pump, air compressor for the airbags in the rear. That's the air intake. The line goes down here to the air compressor to control the airbags in the back.
So that it's sealed off from the outside.
Yeah, so it's way up here where the rain and if you're going down the road in the nasty weather, you won't have any problems. Yep. Awesome. What's this?
That's the reservoir for the power steering.
Oh,
I've got a serpentine belt that drives everything. I put a serpentine kit on.
You're doing everything, man.
New pump.
Yeah, you're doing all the great stuff. And then over here, he's got the the whole relay wall, this gorgeous electrical setup that a lot of people do. We got the filler there, but yeah, just look at how pretty this is. So he is doing it all right.
Air tank.
How big's the air tank?
Oh gosh, 2 gallons, I think.
2 gallons. So you'll have instant, like that. Those airbags will inflate instantly, pretty much. Then.
Well, yeah. With my system, you really don't need an air tank. You could get by with just a compressor.
Yeah.
But I thought, well, I'll put an air tank.
Yeah, I was kind of doing the same thing.
And this is ties the two battery systems together, and then these relays are just fans and air compressor. And this
master shut off
thing here, we'll switch it off or switch to 2 batteries and or a number 2 battery or both. So it's actually has 4 functions. But I'm a street rod guy, and I just kind of wanted to be like Street Rod. I powder coated all the old radiator support and all the brackets, and it's got an old air conditioning system in it now. We had to make all this stuff. Jim Bounds did the initial work on this, and they sent me a schematic of how to build this box.
Okay.
So we had to build the box here. So otherwise,
and you got your windshields out so you can access the dash.
Oh, I fixed it. I fixed the windshield, so if you the dash, so that if you have to take it out with the windshield in, you can do it now.
Nice.
I used Allen's.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then I cleaned all the threads out and used the anti-seize on the screws so they come in and out real easy.
Oh, that's so smart.
And you can do it with the windshield in.
Speaking of anti-seize, does your roof leak at all?
It has, yeah, but it goes from here down to my friends in Joplin that used to take care of all my Prevost buses. And he's going to do the interior. You can see there's a little leak right there in that corner.
Oh yeah, I do. I see
so
the discoloration on the wood right there.
There's some leaks, but I'm not going to fix them.
You know what those are all about? I'll tell you what those are all about here in a few minutes after we stop filming.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's get the interior tour. Starting with this really gorgeous leather work he's got on the doors. I'm loving this. So you're saying that the whole interior is going to be that black leather?
Yes.
Oh wow. So you have like a hot rod leather upholstery shop working for you.
This is a street rod version of a GMC. Only problem is I'm dealing with 4 acres instead of just a car.
I love the GMC. That's a nice touch on the glove box.
We made those.
You know, Jim's making these top to bottom fully sliding open windows. He's got in the works too. I
was able to get my mirror control and everything all together.
Oh, right there. Yeah. Got the electronic motor for the mirrors. What's the alternator?
It's 300 amps.
Dang, so that's the nice
Yeah.
shiny thing right
Yeah.
there. And we got the serpentine belt.
Yep, serpentines.
Man, you've done all the upgrades that I got to do. I got a lot of work in front of
I
me.
use welding cable everywhere.
Thick
All
stuff.
the batteries are wired with welding cable. Oh, and I built the shroud with 2 fans.
Yeah, you put the electric fans in.
Let me turn it to. You energize the fans. That turns power to the fans, and then each one of them are controlled separately. I've used this stuff on many cars.
Now, do you have to turn those on manually when you're driving, or they're gonna kick on when the temperature gets the?
They'll be on all the time if you got them turned on.
Oh, so you just start the car and turn the.
You just turn. They come on with the switch.
Oh, I get it. Okay,
I don't have a thermostat on.
got it.
So probably just run one most of the time, but there's 2 there if we need them. I wanted a padded dash, but Mac don't do it. You know, they won't do it anymore. But my hot rod shop did it for me.
Nice.
So, and they did a great job. I'm very happy with the work they did. They covered all this stuff up here, and like I said, they're going to do all the upholstery pieces, and
Same shop.
except for the 2 seats will be swivel,
Right.
two side seats.
These getting rid of the dinette, getting swivel seats instead.
Yeah.
So you owned Ray's Auto Sales. That was your actual business,
I did.
specializing in Corvairs. The dealerships hated the Corvairs
Oh, the Chevy dealers didn't like the mechanics hated them. Yeah.
because they weren't they're like the odd stepchild, the
Yeah.
rear engine,
They
air
were
cooled.
exceptional. But to me they were delightful.
They're so good looking. I love Corvairs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They're great.
Little land speed racing on the motorcycles?
Yeah. This is. Are you familiar with Vance and Hines?
No.
Oh, okay. You're not a motorcycle guy. Yeah. This is their race team. That's me. Long time ago. This is my grandson. This is our bike. We raced it. It's a Harley. So I've been involved in racing my whole life. Took it to Des Moines, and some guy wanted it really bad. So I sold it to him for $100,000.
Wow.
It was a cool car.
He wanted it that badly.
This is a flathead with Hemi heads on it. It looks like a little Chrysler.
Oh, wow.
But it's actually a flathead Ford with Hemi heads.
Wow.
Yeah.
That must have been kind of hard to shoehorn together.
It's pretty easy, really. Yeah. You can buy all the parts, and
How long was that motor?
that's a 45 foot.
Ooh.
That's an H model. I'll show you the XLs. I only had one H model. Most of them were this style, with the stainless steel on the side. This is an XL. This is a '57 Ford with a Hemi, with a Ford Hemi in it.
That one right there.
It's upstairs. I'll show it to you.
Okay. Look at this collection. Wow. So cool, Ray.
I'll let it down for you.
This is the one in the picture?
Huh?
This is the same one from the picture downstairs?
Yeah, this is the one that was sitting outside the bus. Yeah.
You didn't flat tow this behind the bus, did you?
No, it wasn't that. Had a matching trailer.
Oh, good. You gonna do the historical vehicle plate on the motorhome too?
I'm thinking about it.
Apparently, you can't drive them too much, but
You know,
I don't know if they catch you.
one way or the other. No, the taxes won't be matched because it's so old. You know.
Yeah. Look at that.
Ford built a Hemi, a 429, in a 79 or 69 and 70. It was in a Mustang. They called it the Boss 429. Well, that's the basis for this engine. This has got a stroker in it though, and it's a 521, and it's an animal. It is. It's an animal. Right now, I've got the distributor out and the computer out where I had to send the computer back. It just wasn't working right. So this is the only fuel injection car. Well, my Thunderbird's fuel injection, but it's factory. But I was going to put a pair of carburetors on it, but they won't clear the hood.
Oh.
And I don't want to.
No, don't do that.
I don't want to put a scoop on it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to fix the
Fuel injection.
the
I mean, every
fuel
year the fuel injection systems get better.
They
the
get
aftermarket
better.
ones do, yeah.
They get better. So I'm convinced that we can fix it.
Yeah, I have no doubt.
And that's what I'm doing.
So the Thunderbird had factory
This
fuel?
car got a Ford V10. They're both all Ford. I'm a Ford guy, and I had this car for about 40 years, and I built it about 20 years ago. When Ford came out with the V10, I was going to restore this car. And in fact, the engine was done, and you know, it was in the barn, and I kept thinking, you know, that's not going to be much fun. So Ford came out with the V10, and I said, you know what? That would be cool. Nobody's going to have one. And sure enough, nobody still has one but me that I know of. It was a big job. As you can see, you know, you got 5 ports to deal with on the headers. All that stuff has to be made. There's nothing that you can buy. And it turned out good though.
What the original engine come out of?
This
The V10?
This is just a piece of
Yeah,
aluminum
yeah.
that I had polished and anodized, and it comes
It looks
out
gorgeous.
like that.
But the original, the V10 engine was a stock engine in which platform?
Stock engine had plastic valve covers.
In this car.
Yeah, not in this car.
Oh,
But
okay.
this engine
Right.
had when I got it. It had plastic valve covers, and it was butt ugly. Everything was ugly. That's why I made this cover,
Got it.
because it covers up that ugly part. But the injector used to come out the top. The air cleaner was up here. It's hard to see because it's not light in here. But the air that goes into the manifold now comes from inside the car. There's an air cleaners underneath this panel right here, and there's a plenum that goes across and feeds in. Yeah, it's the only thing I could do because I couldn't get this engine in here with the original
Piping.
configuration.
Yeah.
Wouldn't go. No.
So was it from a pickup truck or what was the
Oh, this came at F350 and above. Motorhomes, ambulance. This is an ambulance engine.
Oh wow.
It only had 1,500 miles on it. So I bought the engine, transmission, the computer, everything, and went from there.
Gorgeous.
It's
New suspension, total resto mod, or
just what now?
is it a total resto mod, like new suspension
yeah.
included?
Yeah, it's a resto mod. That's what you would call it. See, there's no door handles. Thunderbird had fender skirts. These sides, these panels went down smooth, and it had a fender skirt in there. And I wanted a sportier look, so that's a steel rod that I welded in and leaded.
Nice.
And yeah, it was on the rotisserie for a while. I can tell you.
Yeah, I'll bet.
That's a stock shroud. I had to cut the fan down. This is how I did it. This mounts on the frame. So I had just the frame, and so I put the radiator and the shroud on it, and put the fan, cut the fan, and set it in here, and we built the engine mounts and everything from there because I knew what my clearances were back here, and so we did all that with the body off.
Wow.
It's got the power steering drives the power brakes.
Power steering pump does both brakes and power steering. Double duty.
Yeah, the power steering, the power brakes works off the pressure from the power steering pump.
Wow,
Yeah.
cool. Clever.
Yeah. Well, I didn't have room for a vacuum chamber,
Oh, right, huh?
so that's kind of what I had to do. And it works good. I like it.
Did
they
you
use those a lot on smaller diesel trucks, like city delivery trucks, because diesels they can't use a vacuum because diesels have none.
Right, yeah.
So that's
Simpler
what
systems.
they do. That's the system they use.
Did you do that same rod trick up here? Oh no, this is original body.
These were that way.
Right, yeah.
These fenders were already flared. I just did the
So what year of a
57.
57?
Last little bird. All restored, nice car, and I blew it apart and made a street rod out of it.
God, that's gorgeous underneath. Look at how clean this is.
It's got a 512 cubic inch Cadillac in it.
What year was this one?
This is a 1930. It's all air ride. The air's down right now, as you can see.
Yeah.
But it's air ride, air conditioned. It's got all the modern amenities.
Well, your coach is going to be a nice addition to this collection.
Yeah, it's that's my thing. I do.
Yeah, it's great.
My grandson bought me this to go with this car.
A little Tommy gun.
Car came down on it.
There you go. There's your Halloween costume. You and the wife.
Plastic version.
Right, Bonnie and Clyde. You got the.
Yeah. We've had a lot of photographs taken with that.
I believe it.
Yeah.
These are my spare bogies, and this is my fuel tank, which means I have everything I need to solve all the major problems on my motorhome once I get back to work on it. But I'm not going to get back to work on it anytime too soon. There have been a lot of things that have stacked up in front of this. I have a renovation to the house, major renovation. I'm actually about halfway through it right now. And I have to finish the pole barn here, finish the insulation and get some, well, room AC dehumidifying going on so that I don't have all the condensation issues in this space anymore. So it might be, geez, another year? No, I hope it's not that long, but it's gonna be a while until I get to work on the motorhome in earnest. And the reason you guys watched this video and the reason I made it was because I needed to strike when the iron was hot, as the saying goes. And this was the time to get these things and to make it happen. So I took advantage, and the motorhome will continue at some point. I just have to do some other things first. Thank you so much to the continuing Patreon supporters for this channel. You guys, I love you. I keep making videos because I know you support me, and I really appreciate it. So have a great day. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.